Back in the mix with CBS draft expert Ryan Wilson, the two-time champ Bryant McFadden, and CBS senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. I'm Joe Musso, just trying to get the ball to the playmakers here. Pete, we're going to come your way first here. We're talking winners and losers, months of preparation in round one, now a piece of history. Who owned their opportunity most in your eyes here in round one?
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Howie Roseman has continued to crush it over recent years. He's done a great job building that roster. And he had the 10th overall pick, but what he did is he moved up to number 9 and drafted the best defensive player and perhaps the best player in this draft in Jalen Carter. I love that move. Then he comes back at 30 and gets his teammate. They're becoming Georgia North. They now have 4 guys from that defense in 2021 at Georgia. They get Nolan Smith, the pass rusher. So you get a defensive tackle and an edge player from the Georgia team that was dominant a couple years ago and last year, winning national titles. Love what Howie Roseman did.
I agree with you, Pete. 100% for the reasons you laid out. And I think part of the things you talked about this during the actual draft is that when you go to a winning environment and you're the defensive tackle there, you have the chance to go to a winning organization that perhaps solves any issues there may be with the off-the-field issues. I'll go one further because I knew Pete had the Eagles. I'm going to go to the team on the other end of the state, Pittsburgh Steelers. They found a way to get Broderick Jones, traded to get him, only gave a 4th-round pick, and they also picked 32nd, the very first pick in the 2nd round.
Yeah, for me, I'll go a different direction as well. I'll go with the Houston Texans, sitting at number 2. Many people were saying leading up to the draft they might not go the quarterback route, might go a different direction. They went C.J. Stroud, the second best quarterback on the board, in my opinion. And then, instead of just staying put at 12, they traded up to the 3rd spot to go get the best pass rusher in the draft in Will Anderson. So 2 big, significant needs they were able to answer, basically pick after pick, the number 2 pick and the number 3 pick, and didn't really give up a lot because they have some added resources based on some of the moves they made in years past as well. So for me, it's the Houston Texans. They got their quarterback of the future, and they got the best pass rusher that was available in this year's draft.
Very interesting. Our 2 biggest winners here coming from the 3 guys on opposite sides of the football spectrum. One win away from a Super Bowl, the other quite a ways away, but both taking big steps forward here in the 1st round. Not everybody is a winner, so let's talk about some losers as well. Ryan Wilson, I'll come your way first here. Biggest loser in round 1 is who?
B-Mac joked before we went on air. It might be Nolan Smith because I heard he was going to go 10. But that ended up, the Eagles traded up to 9, got Jalen Carter, and then he lasted until 30. So he lost a little money. He still went in the first round.
A lot of money.
But I'm going to go with Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback out of Oregon, because he was my cornerback 1. I know you liked him a lot. Pete had him as his cornerback 1. I thought he had a chance to be a top 10 pick, especially when we were talking about 7 where the Raiders were sitting, 8 where the Falcons were sitting when this draft started. He lasted all the way to 17 when the Patriots traded down with the Steelers, and he ended up being cornerback 3. Now, it doesn't mean he can't be a great player, but I'm surprised that he didn't go higher.
For me, go with a player as well. You talk about Christian Gonzalez being a potential top 10 pick. My guy was considered to be a potential top 2 pick in Will Levis leading up to the draft. You talk about betting odds were clearly favoring Will Levis. Some people felt like he would be 3rd, could be 4th, not 3rd, but basically 4th or number 2 in the picking order in regards to the overall top 10 spots. And he is still available. Not to mention he attended the draft. And just being in that position clearly is uncomfortable, it's frustrating, it's annoying when you were told that you would probably be no worse than top 10.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are. And now if you look at the board, guys, we know Pittsburgh, they're not selecting a quarterback. We know other teams that follow Pittsburgh now, they don't need a quarterback. So where will Will Levis go in day 2?
So the Rams picked 36, Joe. I don't know if Hendon Hooker is not going to go before Will Levis.
Wow. We're taking a look at round 2. It goes Pittsburgh, Arizona, Detroit, and Indianapolis. We got to get a loser from Pete Prisco because we know few things really hit the tuning fork in his heart than pointing a finger and saying you're a loser. So with that in mind, Pete Prisco, who was your biggest loser here in round 1?
I mean, B-Mac stole my loser. I mean, that was my loser. A lot of people will say I'm the biggest loser because I thought Will Levis should go 1st overall. And by the way, I'm not backing down from my evaluation of the kid. I just think the NFL missed on him. They've missed before. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. What the hell do they know? By the way, I talked with a scout. He can't believe he didn't go in the 1st round. I texted him, and the guy had him number 1 on his board as well. So bottom line is Will Levis is the biggest loser. But you know what he's got to do? He's got to take it, get drafted, go in, and show everybody they were wrong. Because by the end of that, if you do that, it won't matter. I might be the biggest loser. Will Levis definitely is the biggest loser.
Pete, we appreciate your forthrightness there with Will Levis. A long wait in the green room is one thing. A long night's sleep is a whole different battle. We'll see where Levis goes on day 2. And for more on the NFL draft, you want to check out With the First Pick podcast. Ryan Wilson, joined by longtime NFL GM Rick Spielman, reacting to all things round 1 and previewing what you need to know ahead of days 2 and 3. That's With the First Pick podcast. It's available wherever you get your pods.